Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Morgan, and bid you all welcome back to Gothic 2. This is another episode where I don't really have a whole lot in mind, because I realize we're pretty much at the point where we have little more to do other than join the monastery. That is the point we are at. We've done all of the initiation stuff that we can do. There are other things you can do if you wanted to, but they're not available to us now. Basically, when you are given the option that we had early on to have Lares help you join a faction, none of the assistance he provides is necessary. So if you wanted to, you could actually play around with the other options he has to offer, which, when I think about it, really don't amount to much. Join the mercenaries. I don't think he really gives you any bonus. We already have the same bonus working with Cord, which I'm pretty sure is all he refers us to. Somebody can correct me on that if you don't mind. But joining the militia, he actually has a more compelling alternative, which is kind of hilarious, because joining the militia is actually the easiest option that we have. So having an even easier solution seems a bit silly, but that be how it is. Anyway, we really don't have much to do. So next episode will be us joining the monastery, unless somebody reminds me of something that I missed. Everything else that we have on our quest list here can be done afterwards, and is arguably easier to do then. So that is why we are saving that. But there's a fellow up in this direction that we have not met yet. Not really an important guy, but I always like to drop in and say hello to him. We remember there is a Pigus here. He made our lives difficult when we were trying to enter the city illegitimately. There are also a bunch of scavengers up here as well. Wipe them out if you see fit. I'll do that when nobody's looking, so I'm not wasting any time here. But yeah, this is one of the only NPCs we really see out in the wilderness. There aren't too many of them, and this guy's easy to miss if you never feel compelled to come up here.
Did you run away too?
What makes you think that?
Why would you come here all alone? There's nothing here.
I only wanted to have a look around.
Okay, be my guest. Would you like a piece of meat?
Be your guest? What do you mean? You own this place?
Yes, gladly.
Here, the finest leg of mole rat, according to my own recipe.
Delicious.
So why are you here?
I can get a bit of peace up here. I always feel so restricted in the city.
Don't you have to work?
Everything I need I can get for myself. I cut the arrows, and nature provides the meat.
So you're a hunter?
Yes, if you want to call it that. But I only hunt what I need for myself, not to earn money.
That must not be a very well-balanced diet you have, then.
In that case, I'm sure you can teach me something.
Why not? I could show you how to handle a bow.
So, to his credit, he's one of the only free, I say that. Actually, most trainers in this game, for some reason, train you for free. Which I actually believe was a criticism of this game. And the reason why, starting with Gothic 3, basically all training that you could get from NPCs had a minimum cost in gold as well as learning points.
Show me how to handle a bow.
But he doesn't ask anything for his training. So if you want some free bow training, you got him. But I'm pretty sure Cavalorn teaches us as well. Bartok will teach you for 50 gold, and I'm pretty sure we've already paid that, so yeah. That's all he is here to provide. So I don't really understand why they made him an NPC. But it is one of those things that I'm glad they did just for the simple fact that it adds some character and flavor to the world that is sadly missing in a lot of ways. You know, not everybody in the world has to be meaningful and has to contribute to your cause in some tremendous way. So up here, there's a dead fellow with some gold, some scrolls, and a ring. A ring of astral power. That actually might be useful to us later on. But not so much now, because we aren't doing much with magic. There's also a king's ore up here, so when you're looking into alchemy, be sure you stop by and grab this bad boy. Yeah, that's really all there is to do up here. If you explore these woods, you can access these same woods from Akul's farm, which we can see just yonder over there. What was that? So that's Akul's farm in the distance there. It does lead to the same place. This patch of woods up here is actually probably the largest sort of landmark, I guess, in this part of the world, which is kind of fascinating because we actually end up spending quite little time there. So, the only other thing we really got on our plate today, which kind of throws me for a loop because I don't think I have a full episode's worth of content here. We can pick up the Sun Aloe just for the hell of it in order to get... I don't know why that's still a quest. That really should have failed at this point. If you wanted to, we could theoretically do the Blood Chalice quest today, but that actually does require you to learn pickpocketing, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. Oh no, I remember one more thing that we can do. Something I've been putting off for longer than I really intended. Something that I'm pretty sure was part of my episode plan way back in like episode 4 or 5, which is kind of funny. But we'll get to that. That'll be the long-awaited climax here. We're just gonna shoot some scavengers. Bonk. Well, that ain't working. That ain't the way you do it. If you do to get too close to Niklas, he will wipe these out himself. Now, up in this direction as well, we saw where the bandits that old Jack the Lighthouse Keeper mentioned were squatting in his lighthouse. We are not really equipped to deal with them yet. That will come in due time. So anyway, we will see you on the road to our next objective. This is a skeleton I think I always miss. He's always on the wrong side of this stump for me to even notice him. Anyway, so there's that skeleton if you are concerned with that. Alright, so you might recognize this path that we're on is the direction we took to get to travel with Laris to get to the water mages at their ruins. If you take a trip on the rocks to the left here, you can actually get to the other side of the river. We didn't really take much of a look there. But this river comes from a small lake that surrounds the monastery. So, if you were to follow this river, you actually cannot get up on this side of the riverbank while you're swimming. The only way to get up is from the way we came, over the rocks, to get down here and grab all the loot that awaits. Which ain't much, but I believe there's a stone tablet and some gold and possibly some spell scrolls and all that good stuff. As well as assorted herbs. So we'll just mop up all this. I don't know why you can't climb up onto the riverbank from here. They specifically oriented the geometry to make sure they had to go up and around. We got plenty of potions, some bread that's been sitting in the mossy ground for God knows how long, but we're gonna eat it anyway. Because we are a disgusting human being. And somewhere over here should be a stone tablet, if I am not mistaken. I don't know if we've gone over what is so important about the dark mushrooms. But we've been collecting every single one we find. We got 73 now. The trick with those is that they actually give you mana for every 50 that you eat. You gain 5 points of mana. Now, it worked a little bit differently in vanilla. I think we found out in vanilla without the Night of the Raven expansion, they actually gave you 10 mana for the first 50 you ate, and then nothing else after that, which made it more convenient to be one of Constantino's apprentices. But in Night of the Raven, you get 5 points of mana for every 50 that you eat, and I think there's a total of just over 650 mushrooms between this and the expansion, which means, if I do the math right, 50 for 5, yeah, there's 65 bonus mana you can gain just from eating mushrooms. And since Constantino's only task for you as his apprentice is to give him those mushrooms, that's a pain in the ass. Well, one of the things I've never tested, I really should before I keep preaching about this, is whether or not you can buy the mushrooms back from him after you've given them to him. I cannot imagine you can, because that would be a really stupid circle of stupidness, given the fact that he pays you their retail value. So if you buy them back from him, you're just giving him his money back. You're essentially just giving him a refund on the mushrooms. Squawk, squawk. Don't interrupt me. So, yeah, we're ignoring the scavengers. I'll get those another time. Bugawk. So, yeah, I believe if you give him the mushrooms, you cannot get them back. So, that is why he is not convenient to be an apprentice for as a mage. Even though it makes sense, you would think, oh, I'm going to be a mage, I'm going to learn alchemy, I should be an apprentice to the alchemist. But in truth, he handicaps you as an alchemist, if you even want to work for him. But one of the things I wanted to mention is that we're actually on the way to get the Sun Aloe for Sagitta as part of her quest to learn her alchemical lore. Now, I have to remember who corrected me on this. I shall highlight the comment here. I had said that Sagitta was the only way to learn alchemy if you did not join Constantino or join the monastery. Turns out that's incorrect. You can actually learn alchemy from one of the water mages once you get through the portal. But it's might be a bit later than some people want to deal with it and would like to learn alchemy sooner. If you can learn the most basic potions from Ignaz, who gave us the Oblivion spell. Once you've learned at least one potion from him, you should be able to learn more from Constantino. However, I believe I might be wrong on this as well. He might only start teaching you potions when you're not his apprentice, no sooner than Chapter 3. I feel like that's the case. I don't believe he will teach you anything before Chapter 3, even if you have the basic knowledge. But if you do not have the most basic knowledge of alchemy, he will not teach you anything. And by basics, I mean you have to either learn the essence of healing or essence of mana. Once you got that, you're good to go. We can actually probably test that, but I'm sure before we even get the chance, somebody will correct me. But, we'll see if we can, in fact, get that as soon as Chapter 1. Regardless, this Sun Aloe for Sagitta is something we're going to want to do. So we've gone a bit further on the path. I apologize, we haven't really been taking stock, but the ruins are just over there where the water mages were. Just follow along the path. We actually have a fork in the road here. You can kind of choose which way you want to go. I'm actually going to go this way. You know, we got a great many blood flies to deal with here. I'm just gonna swat them like the insects that they are. Man, they are really giving me a sting. Thank goodness these are not poisonous like they are in Gothic 3. I always wondered why they decided to make them dark, like black and red in this game. Whereas in Gothic 1 they were more of a beige, kind of sandy color. Damn it, I didn't mean to take two. So we're going to follow the rightmost path here. It's a bit safer. Right there you can see old Willy the Wisp. One of the creatures that Vatras mentioned are normally, apparently, supposedly, linked to the magic ore and grow rather wild and reckless when they are no longer linked to it. And apparently they also have a habit of getting stuck in trees, so we're not even going to be able to deal with that today. I believe that they are not vulnerable to missile weapons. Yeah, it just passes straight through them. They also, I don't know, seem to have somewhat of a resistance to melee weapons. Not a strong resistance, but they're also just quite hard to hit for some reason. Why am I suddenly having trouble hitting this thing twice? Alrighty. I'm pass through a tunnel here. Another somewhat of a fork in the road. If you head down there, you'll actually find a cave in this direction. We are not going to go in there today. That is an event for the future. We're going to put it off for now because there's really no reason to go in there and no reason to spoil it. So, if you had taken the other way around the lake here, what you would have ended up dealing with are these snappers here who might still be a problem. Now that I think about it, they are quite close. Snappers are dangerous. They are in fact more dangerous than lurkers. They are kind of, sort of easier to deal with because you're going to see their AI is different than it was in the first game. They actually, when they decide to threaten you, they don't really do the stomp and pound that most things do, but they start waltzing towards you, which can be dangerous because they can sneak up on you pretty good. But they also have the lurker habit of like kind of getting, well, maybe not. I guess they're a bit easier to stunlock than lurkers, but the backpedal makes them a little more dangerous. But yeah, they can develop a nasty habit of sneaking up on you because they don't make a sound when they're alerted to you and start coming after you. That's what makes them a bit more dicey. Having realized that we can't really get past these things, it might have made more sense to go the other way around. Sneaking past them at this point really is not an option. So instead, we're going to lure them away one at a time. And I will just show you what would have happened had you gone the other direction. We actually do not want to kill them all straight away. Oh god, I got them both! Shit, fuck. That was a mistake. I'm stuck on this thing, god damn it. Help!
Alright, so much for you,
still one more.
Beast. Alright. So much for you, filthy beast.
Well, gosh darn it, I screwed that up. So this fellow, Grimbald here, is another random wilderness hunter that we can encounter. He actually had a quest to help him deal with those. I don't remember if we got XP for doing it.
Are you waiting for someone?
I'm hunting. That should be obvious.
But he would have different dialogue there if the scavengers were still alive.
Can you teach me how to hunt?
All right. You haven't been much help to me so far, but let's not be too harsh.
Teach me how to hunt.
What exactly do you want to know?
So he actually teaches quite a few animal trophies if you want to learn them. We're not going to learn them today. It's almost a little bit better if you deal with the scavengers on your own, because if he incidentally kills them all himself, he gets annoyed with you for not helping him deal with the scavengers, and instead chooses to charge you for his knowledge. But it's really irrelevant. The other thing that we missed out on, he actually warns us about the black troll up ahead. You see this little canyon here. strange and geographically and physically impossible stone formations here. There is a black troll lurking inside this layer here. He's got some okay treasures floating about, goblin berries. Luckily, we don't need to get too close to acquire the Sun Aloe, which is right here. It looks just like a dragon root, which incidentally just looks like moss. So neither of these really look like the plants that they seem to be named after. But no matter. The Sun Aloe, even though it's worth as much as a dragon root or a king sorrel or anything like that, is actually completely useless to us. It only exists as a solution to this quest. But you might be familiar with how we dealt with the trolls in the last episode. Dealing with this guy ain't no different. The only difference is he's got more hit points, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But he's a very handsome fellow with his big old eyebrows and spiny back. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in about 15 minutes once I've whittled him down. And deceased. 1000 XP there, look at that. Now, right off the bat, you can actually sell this troll hide, this black troll hide, to Bosper. You are not going to want to do that. Save that for Chapter 2, and you will find out why. So if you're afraid of selling it by accident, I suggest that you stash it somewhere. In fact, I probably am going to sell it by accident. For I am that stupid. We found another ring. A ring of stone skin. Not that useful. We also, I think, found a king sorrel in there as well. But regardless, it was quite a trip out just to get a small, useless plant for some strange witch in the woods, but I guess it's about time we get it back to her. Alright, I got your troll shit, Moss.
I found the Sun Aloe.
Thank you. And now, ask me whatever you want to know about brewing potions.
Jeez, you don't even seem that excited to have them.
What potions can you teach me to brew?
So, which potion shall it be?
So, right off the bat, she can teach you the elixir of dexterity, which is, not what we're looking for. I believe that Constantino, right off the bat, can teach you the elixir of strength. If I'm not mistaken, they can both teach you all of the permanent potions, but for some reason, you seem to need to unlock them depending on which one they offer first, which is really bizarre. I need to see, when we join the monastery, if the potion instructor there can teach us the elixir of mana straight off the bat, which would be the most convenient. So that's pretty much all we're going to learn here. But if you are hurting for dexterity, you can learn that. That requires king sorrel and goblin berries, which we seem to have a lot more goblin berries than anything else. The wonderful thing about the potion of mana, or whatever, the permanent version, is it actually just uses basic fire root. But that also means you are going to run out of fire root if you're trying to make the strongest mana restoration potions. So bear that in mind. Alright. We've got one last thing on our docket to deal with tonight. So I apologize if this is going to be quite a short episode, but like I said, things are really going to get moving next week. So, we are going to go back to the city and deal with a fellow whose name has come up more than once. I can't remember if we've actually talked to him, but we're about to find out. So, we shall see you there. So, as stated, if you are going to return to Bosper to sell skins, make sure you drop the black troll skin. Because if you sell it to him by accident, you have to buy it back in order to use it later. Drop it outside just in case, because sometimes NPCs do get pissed off if you take things indoors, even if it's something that belonged to you and you only put it on the ground.
Where have you been gadding about for so long? I need more skins. Did you bring any?
Oh, did I? No, that's incorrect.
Everybody knows
I've got a few skins for you.
A sheepskin? You didn't go slaughter some farmer's sheep in the pasture, did you?
I wouldn't dream of doing that.
Wolfskin, that's good. Ah, even a shadow beast skin. Those are worth a lot. What the hell is this skin?
I ripped a troll off for that one.
That is worth a small fortune. Good work. Come see me again when you have more.
A small fortune indeed. How our wealth has grown. Alright, retrieve that. Or you could just leave it here and just make sure you have it for later.
Can't take care of everything for everybody.
Oh yeah, I actually meant to rest in his bed, because this fellow we're looking at is going to be easier to deal with at nighttime. So I'm going to steal your bed, boss. Hope you don't mind. I mentioned you actually get yelled at if you're in somebody's bed, which is hilarious. Alright, well, that was that. But as you know, in this game you can actually kick people out of their own beds, which is hilarious to me. But you cannot do it starting with Gothic 3, which is a real shame. So anyway, we slept until midnight. And the fellow that we're interested in parks his ass in Corrigan's Tavern at night. I believe he mentioned it before. For some reason, this weirdo has decided not only is he not sitting on the bench, he's not really sitting on the table either. That's annoying.
Hey.
You're gonna be a distraction, dude. Go seat your ass properly. But anyway, this is the fellow we're really looking for here.
Well, what have we here?
Have you no manners? That's disgusting. Oh, is this filthy rabble. Haven't you a job where you ought to be? But I suppose no one would miss a down-at-heel fellow like you, hey? Well, if you had as much gold as I do, you wouldn't have to work either. But you'll never be that rich.
I see I'm gonna have lots of fun with you. I asked you who you are.
I am Valentino, the handsome, bon vivant and ladies' man. Poor in cares, rich in wisdom and gold, and the women throw themselves at me. If you have problems, keep them. I don't need them.
Do you have anything else to tell me?
Make yourself popular, never promise anything to anyone, take what you can, and watch out that you don't get into a quarrel with the militia. Or with jealous husbands, of course. They're the worst, let me tell you.
Looks like I'm gonna have to teach you some manners.
Doesn't matter to me. Thrash me all you want. When I get up tomorrow, I'll be fine again. But you'll have to run around with that mug of yours for life.
Oh, this fellow. So snooty, with his chin held high. Not a care in the world because his pockets are already lined for him. We're gonna have to show him his place. Bring him down into the fucking dirt where he belongs. So the problem with him, we actually remember him. Regis, whatever his name is, and Corrigan both have mentioned him as somebody who really gets on their nerves, and we can plainly see why. The annoying thing about him is that during the day he's here, standing in the preacher square, for some reason listening to Vatras' story like he's some sanctimonious prick. And then at night he comes in here and just sits on a bench or sits on a stool all day. And at 4 in the morning is when he gets up and actually starts walking back home to go to sleep. Then comes back down here in time for Vatras' sermon. Now, it's very annoying to wait until 4 a.m. because if you wait until midnight, you have to wait in here until 4 a.m. for him to move. And if you wait until the morning, you're already 4 hours too late. I don't remember exactly how quickly the time ticks. I think it's 2 seconds is 1 minute. So you're gonna have to wait quite a long time for him to leave. Instead of doing that, we're gonna set the clock ourselves, using a little bit of the Marvin mode. So you notice he's already vanished. He actually starts leaving just prior to 4 a.m. So he's already down at this lamppost by then. What we're gonna need is a sword and the Oblivion spell. When he's about to reach the corner of Bosper's house is when we make our move, because he needs to be far from that militiaman and the 2 paladins upstairs.
Yes, you.
Now, even though he is actually using the master level one-handed weapon skill, he's actually an easy fight, because he just has a walking stick, he doesn't have much strength, and he does the wild crazy swings. So bear in mind with the Oblivion spell, it actually does not work on NPCs who are on the ground. They have to be standing upright again for you to use it. We got a key off of him, which is very important. Make sure you have that.
My head.
Wait a minute.
Leave me alone, you filthy brute. Wait until Lord Andre hears of this.
Oh, I don't think he shall.
Wait a minute. Do you have anything else to tell me?
Leave me alone.
So that's your sign that he actually has forgotten that you're the one who beat him up. He certainly recognizes that he has a ripping headache tonight. I can't quite figure out why. Sorry, boss, I need your bed again.
Damn it. What's up?
So, we know a couple people might be interested to hear that Valentino really got what's coming to him. And luckily, we don't have to pay the penalty for it that everyone else does.
I met Valentino.
And?
I gave him a sound beating.
He deserved it. Here. I found this ring on him when our little disagreement had been settled. You're welcome to pass it on to the next person who beats him up.
Wow, so you didn't just beat him up, you mugged him as well. I mean, let's be honest, I did the same thing. So he had a ring of Valentino's ring, which offered a slight amount of weapon protection, obviously not enough to save his ass. Well, let's see what Corrigan thinks of him being shown his real place in the world.
Valentino was unable to pay his bar tab last night. He was blathering something about having been robbed and paying me later. Obviously, really.
And what did you do?
Well, I gave him a good thrashing. What else?
Here, take this ring.
What? Oh, I don't understand.
It used to belong to Valentino. You're welcome to pass it on to the next person who tans his hide.
Yeah, this is a great club to be in, the Beat Up Valentino Club. Oh, what good times we have. Alright, so that was something I actually meant to do as the finale to many previous episodes, but I never ended up having the time for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that'll do it for tonight. Zurus, you got anything for us? Anything we need? We'll buy another one of those.
Don't say.
We got the money for it, so we'll splurge on a couple of those. I'm sure they'll be helpful.
That's an open secret. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
That's about it. Interesting that he is the master of potions, but his spell scrolls have actually been more useful to us.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself. I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Oh, yeah, we got silver stuff to sell to Halvor. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I think that'll do it for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it's a little bit of a quicker one, but we got more of a momentous kind of accomplishment to do next week. So, until then, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my stream archive channel, links in the description below. Follow me on Twitter for announcements and other pointless nonsense. And otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful night.
Everybody knows by now. That's not what my husband thinks.
And it's going to get even worse.
But that's terrible. Everybody knows by now.
These are bad times. He simply talks too much.
Someone's gotta do the